Hello, hello.
ओके मिलते हैं क्लास में रहोगे ना रहो Hi. Hi, good evening to all of you. Please be seated, please. Please be seated. Shall we start? Please. Okay. I'll do that. Briefly, I'll do that. Clear? So, those who miss out some classes, you have the access to videos also? Not yet? Uploaded. Okay, fine. So, see the new ones. Clear? We are started with the section of world history, which is important for our mains examination. World history is included in GS paper 1 of UPSC examination, general studies. And in this we started with the major topics like industrial revolution, that is the first topic of our syllabus. And yesterday, after discussing industrial revolution, we began to discuss about American history. Clear? American history being a very prominent history that took place in the 18th and 19th century, played a very important role. And in course of time, America got converted into an independent and united nation known as United States of America. We had discussed how United States came into being also. Clear? So briefly to recapitulate for you. Clear? That we had started to discuss that continent of North America, which comprises of presently the region of Alaska, Canada and United States. Clear? This continent was discovered by a Spanish sailor, Columbus, and thereafter Columbus along with other Spanish people moved to this region known as Florida. Florida is located to the south of present United States as a major province. Clear? So Spanish were the first people to move to that region. They began to occupy the province of Florida. The Spanish people were followed by the British people who established their control over the entire strip of land along the Atlantic coast. Since they migrated there permanently, they divided the whole strip into 13 colonies known as British 13 colonies in North America. Clear? The third major power were the Portuguese who went along the Pacific coast, but very soon Portuguese abandoned this region and came to be dominated by native people known as Mexicans. Clear? The leftover region, the central part of present United States, was occupied by France, which was named as New France or Louisiana. Clear? This was four major powers in American continent. Since France and Britain were arch rivals because France began to compete against Britain. Just because French established control over New France or Louisiana, the 13 colonies expected the home government in Britain to take some action. Clear? This resulted into a war between Britain and France, which is known as 7 Years' War in global history, as it went for 7 years. Clear? And in this war, finally, France got defeated. The war came to an end by the Treaty of Paris, whereby France was allowed to retain political control over Louisiana or New France, but France was prohibited to have any trade contact with the region of North America. Clear? This was a big development. Since huge losses were incurred by Britain also in this war, British government decided to recover the losses by imposing taxes on 13 British colonies, taxes on consumer goods like paper, glass, tea and even stamp duty. Clear? But these taxes began to be opposed by leaders of 13 colonies and they raised the slogan of no taxation without representation. Clear? Conflict began to take place from here, and just because of this, one controversial event took place when a large ship from India only were exported or were sailed from to United States with huge amount of tea. Clear? And when this ship reached the coast of Boston in the United States, the leaders of 13 colonies threw the boxes of tea in the water of river Boston, which is known as Boston Tea Party in American history. From here, clashes started to take place between Britain and 13 British colonies, and this resulted into American War of Independence, which started basically when Thomas Jefferson issued Declaration of the Rights of Man in Second Continental Congress at Philadelphia on this day only, that is 4th of July 1776. So every year 4th of July is celebrated as National Liberation Day in United States. Clear? Within this American War of Independence, the forces of 13 British colonies were led by George Washington, who defeated British forces with support of Spain and France. Clear? So France gave total support to George Washington that led to the defeat of British forces under Lord Cornwallis, and thereafter the war came to an end by the Treaty of Paris again, whereby 13 British colonies became independent from British government in 1782. It was a big development. The treaty was formalized in 1783. Clear? So this development took place. But the most important development was thereafter when leaders of 13 American states that became independent drafted the first written constitution all across the world, known as American Constitution, which came into force in 1789, marked by some distinctive features like ideal federation, separation of powers, then at the same time Bill of Rights, and a dubious provision known as slavery. Clear? Slavery was recognized in American Constitution, and that became highly controversial in course of time, and thereafter this issue of slavery only led to American Civil War between the northern states and the southern states. Northern states had already abolished slavery because of industrialization. Southern states retained slavery because of cotton cultivation. Clear? And this American Civil War was fought under the presidency of Abraham Lincoln from 1861 to 65, in which the forces of southern states were defeated by the forces of northern states. And after this American Civil War, slavery was abolished from American Constitution, and thereafter United States began to develop rapidly. Clear? This is history of United States briefly. Clear? Take the class notes from someone if you missed out. Clear? Understand things. We have discussed some nuances also in between. Clear? After this, we began to discuss about another revolution in Europe known as French Revolution. We had discussed three major factors leading to French Revolution. One was against the medieval system, which was indicated or manifested through ancient regime in France, dominated by clergy and nobility classes known as the first and the second states. Clear? And the common people comprising of 95% population known as the third state, who rather had all the burden to pay taxes to British or French monarch. Clear? Second factor responsible for French Revolution was role played by thinkers and philosophers, the most important being Rousseau. Clear? Along with Rousseau, there were thinkers like Voltaire and Montesquieu as well. Clear? We had discussed about the role as well, the major theories known as social contract theory. Clear? And the third important factor was financial crisis in France, created due to French participation in American War of Independence, which could not be rectified by Louis XIV, Louis XV, and even Louis XVI. And during the phase of Louis XVI, the situation became highly grim just because of unnecessary expenses even by his wife Marie Antoinette, who was an Austrian princess. Clear? And thereafter he convened the meeting of all the three states in the palace of Versailles, in which the third state boycotted, and thereafter they rather attacked the state prison known as Bastille exactly on 14th of July 1789. With fall of Bastille, French Revolution started with ideals of liberty, equality, and fraternity. Till this point we had discussed. Briefly I have reviewed. Clear? But take class notes from someone. Clear? We had discussed, we have written this thing. If you have any issue, let me know. Is it clear to the new ones also? The briefly will start from here today. You have missed two classes, right? Okay, so let us start from here. Okay, it's fine. Now just understand. Anything else to be asked before we start further? Any question, any more question? Anything that comes to your mind till the point we had already done? Any thing that, please? I'll come to you, please. Okay. Uh, 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 okay. 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 Uh, okay. Huh? Yeah, obviously it is right. In fact, related to that, I'll let you know one important thing. Clear? That coming to one article of Indian Constitution, that article is Article 21A, which provides for right to life with dignity, right to live with dignity. Clear? This article is the only article of Indian Constitution which has got the widest amplitude. Clear? Because the domain of this article can anytime be expanded by the Supreme Court. Clear? The Supreme Court has recently added even right to clean environment and air quality is also a part of Article 21A. Clear? So Article 21A can be expanded by the verdict of Supreme Court anytime, because at the same time Supreme Court maintains even the basic structure of Indian Constitution. In fact, I'll let you know, in polity you'll be reading it. Clear? In the Keshav Nanda Bharti case of 1973 between state of Kerala and the Union of India, the state or bench of judges made it very clear that there would be basic structure of Indian Constitution which cannot be amended. And this is judicially innovated doctrine, not mentioned in the original constitution. So Supreme Court only came with the idea that there are some basic structure which cannot be amended in the constitution. Now, who is the person to decide it's the basic structure? And we don't have any definition. Anytime the domain of basic structure can be increased, enhanced by Supreme Court. So ultimately, who is the entity looking after expansion and even contraction of provisions of Supreme Court? It's the Supreme Court. Clear? And just because of all these provisions, we say Supreme Court is the guardian of Indian Constitution. Clear? And even though the power of Supreme Court itself emerges from the Constitution itself, then why Supreme Court has been given such a power? Because as if you go by precedence, Supreme Court was in existence much before in India, then Constitution came into force. It came into force in 1950. We have the history of Supreme Court since 1773 when it was established under Regulating Act. So obviously Supreme Court has got a precedence. Clear? So just because of that precedence only, Supreme Court is considered to be guardian of Indian Constitution. Is it fine? Is it clear? Coming to French Revolution. You wanted to ask something, please? Because the reason is economic revolt, because mercantilism, meaning that we had discussed about the philosophy of mercantilism, that is to maximize the profit by exporting, or rather increasing the export and restricting the import. Britain was following the same thing. They were trying to use the resources of North America to hoard the resources or to collect the resources from America. That is cheap materials taking from America. They also began to sell the finished products in American market at higher prices, like tea. Tea was being sold at higher prices and sales tax was collected by British. So it was a pure mercantilist policy by Britain. And just because of this mercantilist policy was revolted by 13 colonies as they raised the slogan, no taxation without representation. It became a major factor for mighty revolt or American Revolution. Just have to apply. You start applying, you'll get the answer. Content would remain same. Clear? It's all about your application. Is it fine? Okay, now just understand. Clear? We had discussed about three major factors that led to French Revolution yesterday. The first factor is the ancient regime in France. Second is the role of thinkers and philosophers. And third is the immediate reason, that is the financial crisis in France. Clear? There are some old students. I recognize their faces. I'm meeting them after a long time. How are you? Clear? It's fine. Clear? I'm meeting her also after a long time. So, is it fine? Shall we start? So, coming to this. Understand about, first of all, that after revolution broke out, this is the only revolution that went on for 1 decade uninterruptedly. So we need to discuss about phases of French Revolution from 1789 till 1799. Understand the phase, it's important. There's no break in French Revolution. It is the only political revolution that went on for 10 years uninterruptedly. So we'll understand about the phases of French Revolution. Just understand from here. Clear? When French Revolution broke out in 1789, all the leaders of the third estate who started the revolution, common leaders, all of them declared that they would establish their own legislative assembly to take all the decisions about France, meaning thereby they won't accept the orders and the legislations of French monarch. Clear? So in order to take all decisions about France, clear, all these leaders of French Revolution, they established a body known as Legislative Assembly in 1789. This phase of legislative assembly continued for 2 years from 1789 till 1791. Clear? And in this phase of legislative assembly, the most important development was leaders of French Revolution declared that from now they want to have an elected head over them. Clear? Since they decided to have an elected head over them, clear, France also became a republic in the world. Clear? The term republic means to have an elected head. Clear? And in this sense, it is said that France became the second republic after United States of America. Clear? Because United States and its constitution provided for election of the president as head of the executive, and the first elected president in 1789 was George Washington. Clear? And just after some time, France also declared itself to be a republic, and that resulted into France being the second republic at global level. This was first major development during the phase of legislative assembly, which was from 1789 till 1791. But in the year 1791, phase of legislative assembly came to an end. Clear? Now, what was the factor? Do understand the twist in French Revolution. Clear? When this revolution started, it was primarily against the domination of the church, the clergy, and the nobility class. That is the first and second state. When this revolution started against first and second state, most of the clergy class, most of the nobility class, they fled from France. Clear? And after fleeing from France, they went to two countries of Europe. Clear? They knew that these two countries will support them. These two countries were quite obviously, number one, Britain. Clear? Because Britain anyway was arch rival of France, and Britain never wanted any progressive changes to take place in France, largely based on principles of liberty, equality, and fraternity. Clear? So most of the people from clergy class and nobility class, they approached Britain. Clear? Britain began to support them at this time against French Revolution. Clear? Second major country was Austria. Clear? Why the clergy and the nobility class went to Austria? Because this revolt was against Louis XVI, and Louis XVI was married to Austrian princess Marie Antoinette. So based on family relationship, Austria was expected to support these people, that is clergy and nobility class. Clear? And therefore, when these people went to Britain, Austria, they began to support them, and that resulted into anti-revolutionary sentiments in French Revolution. Clear? So apart from revolutionary sentiments, counter-revolutionary sentiments also began to emerge in France, and that was a potential threat for French Revolution as well. That is why by the year 1791, it was realized legislative assembly cannot resist at this time. Four more binding regimes should be established in France, and legislative assembly was replaced by national convention to make some binding rules for France. And national convention was from 1791 till 1795 for 4 years, primarily to deal with counter-revolutionary sentiments largely promoted by Britain and Austria. Clear? What happened in this fourth phase, which is the most major twist in French Revolution? We'll discuss about the phase of National Convention. Clear? So first phase is Legislative Assembly. Second phase is known as National Convention in French Revolution. Clear? First of all, till this point, right? Heading as clear, right? The phases of French Revolution. The phases of French Revolution. The phases of French Revolution. French Revolution. Clear? Right? Introduction first. Right. The French Revolution is the only political revolution which continued for one decade. French Revolution is the only political revolution which continued for 1 decade without any break. 1 decade without any break. Clear? Like, however, this revolution witnessed several twists and turns, leading to multiple phases, Okay. Right. This revolution was started was started was started in 1789, when revolutionaries established their own legislative assembly, to formulate laws for France, laws for France. Clear? Like, in other words, they decided to refuse the orders of the French monarch belonging to Bourbon family, refused to accept the orders of French monarch. Clear? Like, during the phase of legislative assembly, 1789 to 91, during the phase of legislative assembly, the most important development the most important development was establishment of France as a republic, with elected head. They decided to elect the head. France as a republic with elected head. Use the term Gantantra. Gantantra republic means to have an elected head. Clear? So to have an elected head. Right? In this way, France became the second republic after United States. Now, for your information, I'll let you know. Clear? Decision was taken to convert France into a republic. Elected head could not be chosen here. Clear? And it's a great irony of world history. Clear? Revolution started against autocratic monarchy. Clear? Revolution ended again with autocratic monarch only. Clear? But he did not usurp power by force. By consent of people only, he came to rule. Clear? So French Revolution completed the whole cycle. It started against autocratic monarchy, but finally ended with autocratic monarch only, and that monarch was Napoleon Bonaparte. Clear? So first of all, he won the trust and confidence of the people. People gave him the charge. He became the Emperor of France. But when he became the Emperor of France, he showed the real side of aggression, and that is why with him only we have a very important proverb. That proverb says, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Clear? That is proverb related to Napoleon Bonaparte. Clear? He showed the real side when he became emperor in 1804. We'll come to that. Clear? But it was decided to convert France into a republic. Clear? Change paragraph. Right? Meanwhile, the members of the clergy and the nobility class the members of the clergy and the nobility class fled from France and went to Britain and Austria. Went to Britain and Austria. Now we need to understand logic also. Clear? Right. Britain was an arch rival. Britain was an arch rival of France. Arch rival of France, and wanted to prevent any progressive change. Wanted to prevent any progressive change. Progressive change. Clear? Right. Austria wanted to stop revolution. To protect the interest of Louis XVI. Protect the interest of Louis XVI, married to Austrian princess. Louis XVI married to Austrian princess, Marie Antoinette, Austrian princess. Okay. Right, with support of Austrian princess. Don't need to write the name again. Marie Antoinette we had written yesterday.
Britain was arch rival of France, but just to prevent some kind of progressive movement, it held its enmity.
Just because that France should continue with medieval system like autocratic monarchy, domination of clergy and nobility class.
Why is Britain helping?
Because clergy and nobility class was basically wanted to protect their own interest, so they went to approach Britain, but at the same time common people was suspicious. Clear? And that is why we'll see those revolutionaries who became suspicious of Britain and Austria, they only converted legislative assembly into national convention to deal with this threat. Clear? So clergy and nobility class approached Britain, common masses were against Britain. They understood the approach of Britain at this time. Clear? This is clear. So Britain, clear? Right. This, right, the support, we started sentence. With support of Britain and France, with support of Britain and Austria, anti-revolutionary sentiments began to emerge. Anti-revolutionary sentiments began to emerge that became a potential threat for French Revolution. Potential threat from French Revolution. Clear? Right. Consequently, revolutionaries established a more binding regime, known as the National Convention, the National Convention. Now, what happened at this time? Important one. Clear? So, it was basically a threat to French Revolution just because of Britain and Austria. Clear? So, to deal with this threat, they established binding regime. Clear? What happened in these 4 years? There's a great twist in French Revolution. Clear? During these 4 years, French Revolution witnessed ultra-revolutionary groups, very aggressive revolutionary groups to deal with anti-revolutionaries. Clear? And therefore, large number of ultra-revolutionary groups were formed in France, and among those ultra-revolutionary groups, the most radical revolutionary group which was established in France during this time, this radical group was known as Jacobin Club. Clear? This Jacobin Club was founded by a revolutionary leader. This revolutionary leader was Robespierre. Clear? So he established an ultra-revolutionary group known as Jacobin Club. Clear? And the members of this Jacobin Club, they decided to take action against any person, even on ground of suspicion, who was supposed to be supported by Britain and Austria. Clear? And in this process, the members of Jacobin Club, they began to persecute, they began to even assassinate people on grounds of suspicion. Clear? This resulted into killing of large number of people. And in this process, when Louis XVI and his wife tried to escape from France, they were also arrested and executed by the members of Jacobin Club. So revolution became completely violent in nature. Not only this, clear, if they had paucity of time, if they had less time to assassinate more number of people, clear, they collected all the people at one place and they beheaded them en masse. Clear? This concept of collectively killing the people came to be known as guillotine in France. Clear? So guillotine was a term that originated from French Revolution, which is used in parliamentary language as of now, and due to paucity of time, when we pass large number of bills without discussion, this concept in parliamentary language is known as guillotine. Clear? And this was started in French Revolution when people began to be beheaded collectively on grounds of suspicion. Clear? This created an atmosphere of fear and anxiety in French Revolution, which continued almost for 1 year. And this 1 year from 1793 to 94 is known as the reign of terror, the rule of terror. Clear? Complete intimidation took place in French Revolution. People were afraid that they can anytime be assassinated on grounds of suspicion, and this led to rule of terror or reign of terror created by Jacobin Club almost for 1 year. Clear? And just because of this, anti-revolutionaries were largely suppressed by the members of Jacobin Club, and therefore revolution could be sustained. Clear? But all this resulted into violent actions on the part of revolutionaries. Even though revolution sustained, one another negative consequence was that just because of this, the revolution got derailed from the original path of liberty, equality and fraternity. Clear? Because where was fraternity when large number of people began to be beheaded? Where was the concept of equality? And liberty followed. Clear? All the ideals of French Revolution got compromised during reign of terror. But the biggest positive thing was revolution could be sustained against anti-revolutionaries. Clear? And therefore, in this reign of terror, mass killing of people took place in France. Clear? When this reign of terror succeeded, revolution sustained. Clear? Thereafter, it was realized by moderate revolutionaries that revolution needs to be brought back to its original track of liberty, equality and fraternity. That is why moderate revolutionaries retaliated against Jacobin Club and ultra-revolutionaries. This reaction is known as thermodarian reaction. That is, they wanted to reduce the temperature in France. Clear? And due to this thermodarian reaction, not only reign of terror, National Convention came to an end. Clear? And with the end of National Convention, the revolutionaries established another body to take decisions about France. This body is known as the body of directory, whereby 5 directors were supposed to take all decisions about France, and this phase of directory continued from 1795 till 1799. Clear? So phase of directory was established after ending the phase of National Convention in France. This is clear how anti-revolutionaries and revolutionaries contested against each other. Please.
Sir, a very basic question. Like, I understand that the main motive of the revolution was the third estate protesting against the first and second. Now, when the revolution started, the first two estates had already fled or went
Most of
somewhere.
them.
Right. Then what was the need of so much then? I mean, they already achieved what they wanted.
See, again I'll let you know. Clear? The first and second state fled from France. Clear? That doesn't mean that they fled from France finally. Clear? They fled from France with an objective. Clear? What was that objective? When they went to Britain and Austria, They convinced the leaders, they convinced the rulers of Britain and Austria that these are the changes being taking place in France and these changes must be stopped. Clear? Now what happened thereafter? Britain began to dispatch large number of people discreetly. Clear? Austria began to dispatch large number of people discreetly. That is, without showing that they are from Britain and Austria. When large number of these exotic people came, not clergy and nobility, large number of exotic people came from foreign land like Britain and Austria, they began to promote anti-revolutionary sentiments. Clear? They got mixed up with the people of France. So it was very difficult to identify those people. So what was to be done to sustain French Revolution? Some very radical step to be taken. That is why Jacobin Club and other revolutionary groups were formed and they began to identify those persons. In this identification, sometimes French people were also caught. Clear? And all these people began to be beheaded and assassinated. That led to reign of terror and that led to the concept like guillotine. Clear? So they convinced the Britain, Austria. Britain, Austria began to promote anti-revolutionary sentiments. Please. Clergy and nobility fed, the same thing, clear? But people from Britain and Austria came and they got mixed up with the common people to convince them that this revolution is not good. You should end this revolution. So it was a threat to revolution. How to sustain this revolution? To identify these exotic people and then to behead them, assassinate them. In the process of assassination, obviously, some native French people were also caught. They also began to be beheaded and that is what resulted into reign of terror or intimidation. It's clear. Not the clergy, not the nobility. Clear? Right here. Next, right, during the phase of national convention, during the phase of national convention, ultra-revolutionary groups like Jacobin Club, ultra-revolutionary groups like Jacobin Club was formed, by Robespierre. Club was formed by Robespierre. Clear? Right. The members of this club began to persecute and even assassinate anti-revolutionaries, persecute and assassinate anti-revolutionaries, even affecting French nationals, clear? Right. In fact, due to paucity of time, P-A-U-C-I-T-Y, paucity of time, several people were beheaded collectively. B-E-H-E-A-D-E-D, beheaded collectively, which is termed as guillotine. Starts from French Revolution, termed as guillotine. Clear? Machine also, clear? To beat the people in one go, clear? Just to separate their head from the body, clear? So it's known as guillotine, clear? Right. This resulted into an atmosphere of fear. In France, which is known as is known as the Reign of Terror. It's almost for 1 year, which is known as the Reign of Terror, the rule of fear, the Reign of Terror. Clear? Right? Such actions, such actions sustained the French Revolution, sustained the French Revolution, but at the same time, but at the same time, derailed it from, but at the same time, derailed it from, put the revolution off track, but derailed it from the ideas of, derailed, D-E-R-A-I-L-E-D, derailed it from ideas of liberty, equality, and fraternity. Liberty, equality, and fraternity. Okay? Right. In order to bring back the revolution, in order to bring back the revolution to its original track, to its original track, to its original track, moderate revolutionaries, not ultra one, moderate revolutionaries reacted, moderate revolutionaries reacted against ultra revolutionaries. There's another twist. Moderate revolutionaries reacted against ultra revolutionaries, which is popularly known as, the Thermodorian reaction. Popularly known as the Thermodorian reaction. Reduce the temperature, make the situation calm. Clear? Thermodorian reaction. Clear? Right. This resulted into the end of the phase of national convention, and beginning of another phase, of directory, 1795 to 1799, directory. Okay? Change paragraph. Right. During the phase of directory, five directors began to take all decisions about France. Five directors began to take all decisions about France. All decisions about France. Clear? So phase of directory. Now coming to this phase, what was the major development? Clear? So phases are very clear. Legislative Assembly, National Convention, and then the phase of directory. Twist and turn also very important one. Clear? Coming to phase of directory. Clear? When five directors began to take major decisions about France, at this time only, clear, France witnessed the rise of a very powerful military leader. This leader was Napoleon Bonaparte. Clear? He began to rise very rapidly during the phase of directory, and he had some major directors to his support. Clear? And Napoleon at this time convinced these directors, clear, that if revolution has to reach its culminating point, one thing has to be done is to stop aggression of Britain and Austria. Clear? Still Britain and Austria tried to stop revolutionary sentiments in France. Clear? And in order to stop Britain and Austria, Napoleon gave a proposal. That proposal was to attack the colonies of Asia, of Britain and Austria in Europe Asia and Africa, so that they may get diverted to protect their colonies rather than to focus on France. Clear? So Napoleon was of idea that only way to offset the aggression of Britain and Austria is to divert their attention by attacking their prospective colonies in Europe, Asia and Africa, so that they may not be able to focus on France and revolution can reach its culminating point. Clear? Directors got convinced by the idea of Napoleon. Napoleon was given a free hand with large French soldiers to take away the colonies of Austria and Britain. Clear? First of all, Napoleon started here only, and Napoleon immediately attacked two countries of Europe which were under complete domination of Austria. Clear? These two countries were Italy and Germany. Clear? Italy and Germany were divided into smaller states at this time. They were not a nation altogether, and all these states were dominated by Austria and its autocrat monarchy, the monarch of Austria belonging to royal family known as Habsburg family. Clear? So members of the Habsburg family dominated over Italy and Germany. Clear? So Napoleon first of all went to Italy and Germany. He rather eliminated the local barriers of separatism, converted Italy and Germany into larger states. Clear? And that affected the domination of Austria. Clear? But in this process it is also accepted, incidentally, Napoleon gave a sense of political unification and nationalism to people of Italy and Germany. Therefore, the person who is considered to be responsible for sowing the seeds of nationalism in Europe was none other than Napoleon, but not deliberately, incidentally. Clear? So seeds of nationalism in Italy and Germany were sowed by Napoleon incidentally, because his sole purpose was to affect the prestige of Austria, and later on we'll see it resulted into a very progressive movement in Europe, leading to unification of Italy and Germany in the second half of 19th century. But triggering effect was given by Napoleon at this time. Clear? He affected the prestige of Austria. Now he decided to affect the prestige of the arch rival Britain. Clear? And in this process, Napoleon reached up to African continent. Clear? In fact, he attacked a very strategic African country, largely controlled by Britain, and that country was Egypt. Clear? Largely because of a canal known as Suez Canal connecting the Red Sea with Mediterranean Sea. Clear? Napoleon attacked Egypt just to divert the attention of Britain to focus more on Africa rather than on French Revolution. Clear? And after attacking this region of Egypt, Napoleon came to Asian continent. He reached up to Central Asia, and thereafter he planned his aggression on India, which was a prized colony of Britain. Clear? And therefore it created high sense of insecurity among the British, and Britain began to divert all its attention to stop the aggression of Napoleon on India. Clear? And in modern history we'll discuss, just to offset such aggression of Napoleon, British deputed a very powerful officer as Governor General of Bengal, and this leader was Lord Wellesley. Clear? Wellesley came to India in 1798, who started the policy of subsidiary alliance also, and outright annexation as well. Clear? So this was to prevent India from possible aggression of Napoleon. Clear? So by this time Napoleon succeeded in diverting the attention of Austria, also diverting the attention of Britain as well. Clear? And by this time Napoleon began to be regarded as savior by the people of France. Clear? By 1799, people of France were fed up with revolution, because one major crisis still could not be solved, and that crisis was financial crisis that led to the outbreak of this revolution. So even it went for 10 years uninterruptedly, the most serious crisis, that is financial crisis, could not be resolved. That is why all the common leaders and revolutionaries of France, they invited Napoleon from Central Asia. Clear? Napoleon responded to the call. He reached to Central Asia, and at the same time, with support of the people, he ended the system of Directory in 1799, and at the same time announced the end of French Revolution. But he did not usurp power at this time. He respected the sentiments of the people. He replaced the system of directory with a more compact body. This more compact body was known as the system of consulate. Clear? This system of consulate started in 1799, continued till 1802, in which three councils were to take decisions about France. So in place of 5 directors, now 3 councils could take decision about France, in which Napoleon was the first council. Clear? So he ended French Revolution, replaced the system of directory with another plural body known as the consulate. Without affecting the sentiments of people, he did not usurp power. Clear? And at the same time, French Revolution came to an end. But there was huge expectation of the people from Napoleon. Clear? First of all, in order to satisfy the people, clear, Napoleon gave his own code of conduct, whereby he formulated his legislative measures, judicial measures, administrative measures, and all these measures to serve common people. They came to be known as Napoleonic Code of Conduct. Clear? So Napoleonic Code was given by Napoleon in the phase of consulate system. Clear? Still he was trying to reform, but what was the major crisis? Crisis was financial crisis, and people were expecting Napoleon to solve this huge crisis in France. Clear? And he got this opportunity in 1802. What was that opportunity? While he was struggling with financial condition of France, a commercial offer was given to him by 13 American states in North America. And this commercial offer was that these 13 American states wanted to purchase large region in North America under French control, this region being known as New France or Louisiana. Clear? And they were ready to pay any price to France at this time. Clear? Now it was a big opportunity for Napoleon. Clear? Napoleon materialized this commercial deal in 1802, sold the region of New France and Louisiana, and took away huge resources from 13 American states. When these resources came at the command of Napoleon, now that strengthened his financial muscles. Clear? First of all, what he did was he established a central banking institution at Paris known as Bank of France. Clear? And from this central banking institution began to provide easy credits and loans to the people just to boost their economic sentiments. Clear? And when huge amount of liquidity began to prevail, economic sentiments began to grow among the French people. Clear? With huge resources, Napoleon even started industrialization in France just to utilize coal and iron reserve. That further gave glory and pride to French people that France can catch up with Britain, the arch rival also. Clear? So Britain or Napoleon was able to win the trust and confidence and show the pride of French people at this point of time, and that is why French people only wanted Napoleon to take the charge of France single-handedly. Clear? And therefore, in the year 1804, Napoleon ended the consulate system in 1802 only, and after 2 years, he proclaimed himself to be Emperor of France. Clear? He became Emperor of France not by force. He became Emperor of France with the consent of French people. And that is why it is said French Revolution completed the whole cycle. It started against autocratic monarchy. It ended with autocratic monarch only in the year 1804. The most important factor being the commercial deal between Napoleon and 13 American states, in which he sold Louisiana or New France to American states. Clear? This was the rise of Napoleon as emperor in 1804. It's clear, the phase of directory. Please. Emperor. He was trying to reform all major developments, Bank of France, public institutions, schools, colleges. He went on doing that. Clear? All the regions, because in 1802 he signed the deal. So why 1802 he got the resources? After 1802 he was given a free hand. He began to establish all institutions. Still he did not usurp power. Clear? When he did all the work to a large extent and won the complete trust and confidence of the people, then he proclaimed himself as Emperor of France in 1804. Clear? That completed the entire cycle. It's clear, right, about these developments. Clear? Right, during the phase of directory, a powerful French leader, a powerful French leader, Napoleon Bonaparte, a powerful French leader, Napoleon Bonaparte. Bonaparte, Bonaparte emerged as emerged as emerged as a great emerged as a great supporter, and and tried to convince the directors, tried to convince the directors, there were five of them, directors, to affect the prestige of, to affect the prestige of Britain and Austria. Britain and Austria. Clear? Right. Britain and Austria. Right. Napoleon wanted to divert the attention of, Napoleon wanted to the attention of Britain, divert the attention of Britain and Austria, Britain and Austria, Austria, in order to sustain revolutionary ideals, in order to sustain revolutionary ideals. Clear? Right. First of all, he attacked the regions of, first of all, he attacked the regions of Italy and Germany. We'll come to these countries separately. First of all, he attacked the regions of Italy and Germany under Austrian domination. Under Austrian domination. Okay. Right. He converted smaller provinces. He converted smaller provinces into larger units, and promoted nationalism, incidentally. That was not his objective. Promoted nationalism incidentally, not deliberately, incidentally. Clear? Right. Thereafter, Napoleon attacked the African country, of Egypt, African country of Egypt, primarily due to the Suez Canal. Look into the map also. I'll let you know. Clear? This this Suez Canal connects two water bodies, Red Sea and Mediterranean Sea. It also connects Asia and Africa. That is Egypt on the one hand, and on Asian side we have a country that is, which is that country? Which is the country from Asian side connecting Suez Canal? Which is that country? Very much. Every day you must be hearing in news. Which is that country? Syria. Which is that country? Which is that country? The country is Israel. Map entries are important. You get this time also. Last time also told you 3-4 questions are from map. This time also the USA, Canada, and all these things were asked. Clear? You need to work on map entries. The country is Israel. Just above Israel, we have one region here only that is known as the Gaza Strip. Clear? Gaza Strip is basically an open air prison for Palestinians. Clear? So bombing has been done on Gaza also. Clear? By the Israeli forces. Clear? It's Gaza Strip. Clear? Palestine is in two shape. One is Gaza Strip, another is West Bank. Clear? West Bank also have Jerusalem. Clear? And the entire region is known as Israel. Clear? That's very important to understand. It is very much in news. Clear? We'll be coming to Israel also. This country almost is in this shape. Clear? Israel is in this shape. Clear? This is the country of Israel, and here we have the region of Gaza Strip. Here we have the region of West Bank. Clear? Here we have Jerusalem. You have Dead Sea also. Clear? And this is the region which is known as the region of Suez Canal, and that connects Egypt. Clear? Here we have Red Sea. Here we have Mediterranean Sea. Clear? This is the region of Israel. Here you have Jordan. Then we have Syria, and Jordan is like, that is West Bank. River Jordan is there, Syria, Lebanon, all these countries are there. It's a very sensitive country right now in West Asian region. Clear? Israel is a large country in West Asia. Palestine is only two regions, that is West Bank and Gaza Strip. West Bank and the region of Gaza Strip. West Bank because West Bank of River Jordan, clear, known as West Bank. Clear? And this is Gaza Strip. Clear? Israelis or Palestinians are not connected also. Clear? Bombing has taken place on Gaza Strip also. Bombing has taken place on West Bank also. Clear? This is Israel and Palestine. Very important one. Clear? So just because of Suez Canal, the country was attacked by Napoleon, that is country of Egypt. Clear? Right. Then right thereafter, Napoleon even went to attack Central Asia, and it was anticipated that Napoleon may attack India, prized colony of Britain. Napoleon may attack India from northwestern side. Clear? Side. Chain paragraph. Clear? Right. By this time, Napoleon began to be considered as the real leader, and he was invited back to France. To resolve multiple crises. Clear? Right. Napoleon returned back to France. In 1799. Returned back to France in 1799 and announced the end of 1799 and announced the end of French Revolution. Clear? Right. At the same time, he replaced the system of directory. With a compact plural body, not a singular one, with a compact plural body as consulate. Comprising of 3 members, not 5 directors, comprising of 3 members. Clear? Chain paragraph, right? During the phase of the consulate, phase of the consulate. Napoleon introduced several several legislative judicial and administrative reforms collectively known as the Napoleon's Code. Collectively known as the Napoleon's Code. CODE. Napoleon's Code. Clear? Right. In 1802, Napoleon concluded a commercial deal. Napoleon concluded a commercial deal with American states. This is the big twist. Clear? Concluded commercial deal with American states and sold the large region of New France, also known as Louisiana, large region of New France in North America. Clear? Right. With huge resource, Napoleon carried several economic reforms. Now, from 1802, clear? Carried several economic reforms. Clear? Reforms, right? First of all, he established the Bank of France. At Paris. And released circulation of sufficient fund. Okay? Right. This boosted the sentiments of the French people. And they began to support Napoleon. Clear? That on the request of common masses, Napoleon proclaimed himself as Emperor of France. In 1804. Emperor of France in 1804. So phases are clear. So this led to the rise of Napoleon, and from 1804 till 1815 he ruled over the entire Europe with that. Clear? And that is why it is known as Napoleonic era. Clear? So till 1802 he continued with plural body. From 1802, with resources at his back, he ended the consulate also, carried out several economic reforms by banking institutions, by other institutions, won the trust of the people. People only asked him to take the charge. He proclaimed himself as Emperor of France in 1804, leading to the beginning of Napoleonic era almost for a decade till 1815. Clear? Welcome to Napoleonic era. Please. Abolition of consulate, clear. In fact, by this time, since all regions were to be taken by Napoleon, because he single-handedly concluded the commercial deal with the American states, clear. So resources came at his command, clear, and therefore he was the sole person to introduce all economic reforms. As soon as he began to introduce economic reforms, clear, he never wanted to delay the process by taking the consent of two other councils, clear. So obviously he ended the council system without any opposition, because people also agreed that he needed clear hand to go for economic reforms, clear. So rather than discussing the affairs with two other councils, he single-handedly proceeded with the reforms, and he knew people will get reconciled because financial crisis was a big crisis. He began to solve that financial crisis itself, clear. In fact, easy credits, loans began to be given to people, and that boosted their financial and economic security, clear. And that's because of this, due to rapid economic reforms, people only requested him to take the charge finally, and formally he proclaimed himself the Emperor of France in 1804, clear, not by usurping power but with people's choice. It's clear. Now we'll start with Napoleonic era, please.
So before setting Louisiana, what was France doing with New France for so long?
Because France was maintaining only political control since Treaty of Paris. Treaty of Paris, which was signed in 1763 after 7 years war. We had discussed that France was prohibited to have any trade connection with New France, but France could maintain political control over New France. So French military forces, French officers were there in Louisiana or New France. Clear? Now, since American states wanted to expand in this region, they wanted French people to abandon this region. Clear? And before abandoning, they wanted to purchase this region through a commercial deal. Clear? So when this offer was given to France, Napoleon easily accepted the offer. So administrative and military forces were still posted in New France or Louisiana. Clear? Like with respect to India, I will understand much better. Clear? Even though in 1763 itself, France was prohibited to have trade relationship with India also. But France was allowed to retain political control over Chandanagar in Bengal, over Pondicherry, Yanam and Karaikal on the eastern coast, Mahe on the western coast in India. Clear? And this was retained by France till India's independence. Clear? When bilateral treaty was signed between India and France in 1954, France agreed to surrender these regions peacefully to India. And Pondicherry, Yanam, Karaikal and Mahe combined together formed Union Territory of Puducherry. Clear? And Chandanagar got integrated with Bengal. If you visit Chandanagar, still you will find sizable number of French people. Clear? So French people continued there in Chandanagar also. That is in province of Bengal. It's clear. So that same status with Louisiana or New France. Clear? In fact, for your understanding, interesting, I think I'll let you know. Clear? Just come south of United States. Clear? Central America, then we have South America, and as we had discussed in the very first class, South America is also known as Latin America. Clear? In Latin America, on the northern side only, we have a small country that has got a coastal outlet. Clear? This country is known as French Guiana. Clear? French Guiana is a French overseas country in South America. It's still controlled by France. Clear? And France maintained its overseas colony of French Guiana. That's very strategic. Why? Because French space agency known as Ariane Space is located on one of the island of French Guiana known as island of Kourou. Clear? There's a Kourou island on French Guiana which has the French space agency. Clear? And French launched all its satellites. Clear? From this island of Kourou only. Clear? And why I'm discussing this? Because the reason is even our INSAT satellites are launched from French island Kourou only, because we cannot launch INSAT satellites which has to be launched through GSLV, because in the third stage of GSLV we require an engine known as cryogenic engine, and still India does not have its own cryogenic engine. Clear? Cryo means at low temperature, because this engine uses fuel as liquid oxygen and hydrogen at low degree temperature. Clear? India does not have that engine basically in cryogenic known as Vikas engine. Clear? So obviously we are dependent on France. We can launch PSLV. We cannot launch GSLV. PSLV launches the satellites known as IRIS satellites. GSLV launches INSAT satellites. IRIS is for resource mapping. Clear? INSAT is for communication, DTH services. Clear? Still we cannot launch GSLV on our own. We can launch only PSLV. Even India can launch 2 PSLVs in a day. We are experts in launching PSLV, and we are not launching only our own satellites. We are launching the satellites of other countries also, and we are running for an exchange. We have a wing of ISRO for that, known as Antrix Corporation. Clear? That is based in Bangalore. But that is basically not the pure GSLV that is using cryogenic engine. It's not GSLV. We cannot launch GSLV, in fact. Clear? Some few weeks back, we're still trying for that. Some few weeks back, we had an endurance test that was successful in Tamil Nadu for cryogenic engine. That endurance test was for 72 seconds. But it cannot be more than 72 seconds. We're struggling for that. Clear? We don't have cryogenic engine. Clear? Cryogenic engine was basically given to India at once by Russia. But Russia also later on could not give cryogenic engine because there are many issues involved. Because India was not a member of MTCR. India became member of MTCR recently. Clear? And any country which is not a member of MTCR, the member states of MTCR cannot give missile technology exceeding the range of 300 kilometers and a payload carrying capacity of 1500 kg. Clear? That is even the limit of BrahMos developed by India and Russia was kept 290 kilometers because India was not a member of MTCR. So extent limit could not be more than 300 kilometers. But of late, India has been given membership in MTCR also. Clear? So that's a very important control regime. So Kourou is an island located in South America. For India, it's very important. Clear? Still, we cannot launch GSLV on its own. That is geosynchronous launch vehicle. Polar satellite launch vehicle we can launch anytime. Clear? We have Antrix Corporation based in Bengaluru. That is commercial arm of ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization. These are important things to be done for science and technology also. These are very important things. You need to know about what are the problems in our space exploration. Clear? India is one of the major partner in space exploration these days. Clear? It's still having some handicaps, bottlenecks. The bottleneck is cryogenic engine. Clear? So France has been a big supporter in this sense. Clear? So political control was retained, administrative officers were there. These officers were recalled back in 1802 and therefore the entire region came under American states. Clear? This commercial deal that led Napoleon to go for radical reforms won the trust and confidence of the people and became the emperor in 1804. From 1804 till 1815, he dominated the European scene and this phase is known in world history as Napoleonic era. Clear? Now we'll come to the next major topic, that is Napoleonic era. Clear? Write the separate heading as. Clear? Like Napoleonic era. Napoleonic era from 1804 till 1815. Napoleonic era. Clear? Understand about these developments. Clear? See, in general studies, develop this overall perspective. You are studying history not only because of history. In later course of time, you'll be connecting history, polity, geography, science, tech, because you have to understand India and the concept altogether. Clear? Then only you will be able to write all comprehensive answer. Comprehensive answer means it's a general studies answer. General studies means all the dimensions of different topics. Clear? So don't read history only because of history. Don't read geography only because of geography. Its topic is general studies, meaning thereby you need to take the vertex from different modules also. Then only your answer will become multi-dimensional, which is required in UPSC. It's not only myopic, it should be multi-dimensional. Clear? Now coming to this, Napoleonic era, just understand. Clear? Napoleon became Emperor of France in 1804 and by this time he had the complete support of masses. Clear? But that the saying goes with him. Power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Clear? Napoleon began to follow some high-handed policies from 1804 onwards. Clear? In fact, Napoleon first of all decided to defeat the arch-rival of France, and the arch-rival of France was Britain. Clear? But Napoleon knew one thing very well. He cannot defeat Britain in an outright war because Britain was separated from European mainland through English Channel. Clear? And on naval front, Britain was the strongest power in the entire world. France did not have a strong navy to rather contest against Britain. Clear? So Napoleon decided to defeat Britain indirectly at this time. Clear? And what was his approach? We'll understand this approach, which is known as continental system of Napoleon. Clear? First of all, when he began to rule from 1804, in 3 consecutive years, in 1804, 5 and 6, he defeated 3 leading powers of mainland Europe. These 3 powers were Austria, Prussia, and Russia. Clear? Prussia is not in existence as of now, as Prussia is a part of Germany. Clear? So he defeated 3 major powers of mainland Europe: Austria, Prussia, and Russia. Clear? And thereafter he forced all these 3 countries to stop maritime trade with Britain, meaning thereby he wanted to create a blockade in European mainland so that British ships could neither come, could not take away any article to Britain. Clear? So a kind of blocking was done to be done for Britain so that European mainland does not trade with Britain, and that results into economic isolation of Britain, and therefore to force Britain to accept all terms and conditions of Napoleon. Clear? So rather than defeating Britain in a direct encounter, France or Napoleon decided to go for indirect mechanism, and this concept of blocking the mainland Europe or continental Europe from the trading activities of Britain, this system came to be known as the continental system, which was implemented by Napoleon in 1806. Clear? Perfectly fine, no problem with it. The system got implemented also as Austria, Prussia, and Russia were defeated and forced to accept terms and conditions. Clear? But at the same time, Napoleon failed to comprehend one phenomena. That important thing was, Britain was not only dependent on Europe for trade or mercantilism. Clear? Europe was largely based on, dependent on its large colonies in Asia and Africa. Clear? And therefore, Britain diverted all its trade to Asia and Africa from 1806. In fact, it is accepted by scholars of world history, continental system was applied by Napoleon, but continental system was perfectly executed by Britain. Clear? Britain only left European mainland, and Britain began to divert all its trade with Asia and Africa, having large number of colonies in these 2 largest continents of the world. Clear? Europe stands nowhere with respect to big market and population of Asia and Africa. Clear? This was considered to be a kind of short-sightedness by Napoleon, who could not visualize that Britain is capable of meeting its requirement from Asia and Africa. Clear? So it never affected British economy in any sense, only diversion of trade took place. But it affected the economy of mainland Europe. Clear? These countries like Austria, Prussia, and Russia were more dependent on Britain for maritime trade, and they began to witness scarcity. That is why the first country to walk away from continental system was Russia. Clear? It affected the prestige of Napoleon, and as Russia walked away from continental system, the whole system collapsed before Napoleon. Clear? And this is considered to be first major blunder committed by Napoleon in his Napoleonic era. Clear? This was one thing known as continental system. Clear? Another great blunder committed by Napoleon at this time was, clear, that in the year 1808, the ruler of Spain died. Clear? As the ruler of Spain died, Napoleon wanted his younger brother to take the charge of Spain. Why Spain was very important? If you look into location of Spain, Spain is very much in connection with large African continent with a strait known as Strait of Gibraltar. Clear? And this provided inlet to enter large African continent, and therefore Napoleon wanted that through his brother, he wanted to maintain control over Spain and then to explore large African continent as well. Clear? And therefore he took his younger brother known as Joseph Bonaparte from Paris, went to Spain and placed his younger brother on the capital city of Spain known as the city of Madrid. Clear? So on the city of Madrid, his younger brother began to rule. But as soon as Napoleon returned back to Paris, local people of Spain revolted. Clear? They were not ready to reconcile with foreign ruler. Joseph Bonaparte was not as capable as Napoleon. He lost his nerve, and Joseph Bonaparte returned back to Paris. So Spain was lost by Napoleon. Clear? Napoleon took it as a matter of ego, self-respect. He again took his brother, went back to Spain, deputed him, returned back to Paris. Clear? Again, the people of Spain revolted. Joseph Bonaparte returned back to Paris. Clear? Napoleon again took his brother. Clear? Again went to Spain, placed him on the throne of Spain, returned back to Paris. Clear? People again revolted. Clear? And Joseph Bonaparte returned back to Paris. Clear? This to and fro movement of Napoleon continued almost for 6 years between Paris and Madrid. Clear? And therefore this consumed huge energy and attention of Napoleon. In fact, it became a kind of disease for Napoleon, and therefore it is termed by world history as Spanish ulcer. Clear? It was a Spanish ulcer for Napoleon, and that became a big problem, a big reason for downfall of Napoleon. Napoleon failed to understand he was not dealing with a territory, he was dealing with a nation. Clear? And people were not ready to accept any foreign ruler above them. This was second blunder committed by Napoleon, which consumed his entire energy and attention for almost 6 years. Clear? Third after this, clear? Since Russia was the first country to walk away from continental system, Napoleon wanted to teach a lesson to Russia, clear? And Napoleon with large French forces attacked Russia in 1812, clear? And when Napoleon attacked Russia, Russians did not resist. They knew they cannot defeat Napoleon. A powerful person, clear? Russians began to retreat back, clear? Since they started to retreat back, Napoleon went on conquering areas without much difficulty, clear? But Russians were retreating because Russia had a large territory, clear? They could retreat to endless territory, clear? Russia went on retreating towards the interior part. Napoleon also went on annexing territory without any resistance, clear? But Russians had one strategy in their mind, clear? Why they were retreating back? They were retreating because they wanted to buy some time. They wanted to buy only few months, clear? They were retreating because they knew after few months only winters will approach, clear? And Russia is known for harsh winter climatic condition when temperature dips up to even minus 40 degrees centigrade. They were waiting for this. They went on retreating, clear? And as they entered into interior region, winters approached, clear? Temperature dipped up to minus 40 degrees centigrade, and even basic items to survive could not be found by French forces. Now Napoleon realized blunder has been done, clear? Now Napoleon began to retreat back very fast, clear? But while retreating also because of harsh climatic condition, large number of French soldiers died in this venture, clear? Napoleon returned back alive, but by this time his popularity had been completely affected among French people. They realized they committed a blunder in giving the charge of France to Napoleon Bonaparte, clear? Realizing that popularity of Napoleon has completely come to an end, the two countries began to take revenge, and these two countries were again Britain and Austria, clear? So Britain and Austria collected all the countries of Europe, and all the countries of Europe combined together attacked Napoleon in 1813, and this battle is known as Battle of Leipzig, fought in Germany, clear? In this Battle of Leipzig, Napoleon was defeated, clear? This battle in world history is also known as Battle of Nations, clear? Because before the occurrence of First World War, it was the biggest battle fought in European world, clear? Napoleon got defeated. Napoleon was deported to the island of Elba near Italy, and he stayed there for some time. After staying for 100 days only, Napoleon again returned back to Paris to regain back his power, clear? Led by Austria and Britain, all European powers once again gave a final blow to Napoleon. This final blow to Napoleon was given in the battlefield of Waterloo in Belgium in 1815. And thereafter Napoleon, after being defeated, was exiled to the island of St. Helena in South Atlantic, from where he could not escape, clear? And he stayed there for another 6 years till he died in the year 1821. But Napoleonic era came to an end with his final defeat at Waterloo in 1815, clear? This was Napoleonic era. 3 blunders committed by him. One is continental system, another is known as Spanish ulcer, and third is known as the Russian expedition, which proved to be the deathbed for Napoleon. It's clear. Why do we read history? To learn from the past. There's a basic utility of history, to learn from the past. But same blunder was committed by Hitler also. Clear. Same thing was committed by Hitler. Hitler knew about the fate of Napoleon. Clear. Hitler attacked Soviet Union. And clear. Hitler also entered into interior regions. Clear. And Red Army of Soviet Union also retreated back. Clear. They knew that they have to wait for winters to approach. Clear. And Hitler wanted to return back, but he could not control his appetite. He went on conquering territories, and when winters approached, Hitler also realized blunder has been done. Clear. But this time Russians were well planned. They surrounded German forces. They attacked them from all directions, leading to a battle known as Battle of Stalingrad. Clear? Even though Hitler managed to return back alive, his popularity also got affected. And then Allied powers came together to defeat Napoleon. And this Allied powers was led by, this time, United States and Britain. Clear? And that was the turning point for the defeat of Hitler also in the year 1943. Clear? So issue was decided in Russia only. Both that is fate of Napoleon also, fate of Hitler also. Three blunders of Napoleon Bonaparte. Write about this, Napoleonic era. Clear? Right. In the first decade of the 19th century, in the first decade of the 19th century, Europe was dominated by Napoleon. You have to start with answers like this. Don't write years and all. First decade of 19th century. Don't write 1804 and all. Clear? Don't show your kiddishness in answers. Answers should be analytical. I'm writing these dates for your understanding. Don't write 1804 to 1815. You are not writing 10th class examination. Then also try to avoid. Write in the first decade of 19th century. Write in the first quarter of 19th century. Write in the first half of 19th century. There's no need to write dates. If you remember, try to avoid. Clear? First decade, it's sufficient enough to make it clear. Clear? Don't write dates and all. I'm writing it for your understanding, not for you to write in answers. Clear? In the first decade of the 19th century, entire Europe was dominated by Napoleon. Entire Europe was dominated by Napoleon, and Britain even declared that the map of Europe should be wrapped up. WRAPPED should be wrapped up till the rule of Napoleon. They knew that map will be radically altered. Map of Europe should be wrapped up. WRAPPED, wrapped up during the rule of Napoleon. Wrapped up during the rule of Napoleon. Shall I repeat again? Wrapped up during the rule of Napoleon. It should not be required during the rule of Napoleon. Clear? Right, next. During Napoleonic era, Napoleon decided to defeat Britain, the arch rival, decided to defeat Britain indirectly through the continental system. Okay? Right. He wanted to block the entire mainland of Europe from British merchants. British merchants. Clear? Traders and merchants. British merchants. Clear? Right. He defeated three countries. He defeated three countries of he defeated three countries of Austria, Prussia, and Russia. Three countries of Austria, Prussia, and Russia in succession. In succession. 1804, 5, 6. In succession. Clear? Succession. That these countries were forced to stop. These countries were forced to stop maritime trade, forced to stop maritime trade with Britain, maritime trade with Britain. Okay? That the continental system was applied. The continental system was applied in 1806, but backfired against Napoleon. But backfired against Napoleon. It went against him only. Napoleon, clear? Right. Britain began to divert its trade. Britain began to divert its trade towards towards Asia and Africa. Asia and Africa. Okay. Right. In fact, the continental system created scarcity. In fact, continental system created scarcity in mainland Europe. Scarcity in mainland Europe. And Russia walked away from this system. And Russia walked away from this system. Okay? Right. In this way, the continental system collapsed. In this way, the continental system collapsed, which affected the popularity of Napoleon. First blunder. Popularity of Napoleon. Okay. Change paragraph. Right. In 1808, the ruler of Spain died. The ruler of Spain died. And Napoleon decided Spain, S-P-A-I-N, ruler of Spain died. And Napoleon, let's complete this end. And Napoleon decided to appoint his younger brother, Joseph Bonaparte. His younger brother, Joseph Bonaparte, on a Spanish throne. Right? Strategic advantage also. A Spanish throne. Clear? Right? Spain was highly strategic. Spain was highly strategic due to its close proximity to African continent. It's a state of Gibraltar. Proximity to African continent. Clear? Right. However, Joseph Bonaparte, Joseph Bonaparte witnessed local revolt, and returned back to Paris. Returned back to Paris. Clear? Right. Napoleon, Napoleon, Napoleon continued to reestablish control, over Spain for almost 6 years, that consumed his time and energy. That consumed his time and energy. Time and energy. Right. Therefore, this episode episode is popularly termed as a Spanish ulcer in world history. A Spanish ulcer in world history. Clear? No, you wanted to ask something.
Why was Napoleon so fixated on reinstating only his brother? Why not someone more,
From Spain only.
perhaps
Local
from
people.
Spain or someone more capable
Huh.
of holding that position?
Some were more capable. Clear? I think if someone could have been more capable, just understand. Clear? Spain is located not very close to France. Clear? If someone could have been more capable person, in course of time that person could have declared his independence and Spain could have gone out of the control of Napoleon. Why he wanted his brother? Because even though brother was not very powerful, but brother could have always remained loyal to his Napoleon, subservient to Napoleon, and Spain could have been the major pound in the hands of Napoleon. If powerful ruler could have been posted, Spain could have declared itself to be independent very easily, and it was not possible for Napoleon to regain back the entire Spain. So that is why he wanted his close associate to take the charge of Spain. Okay. No, this was Spain's. Third is basically the Russian expedition. Right, next paragraph. Clear? Like the third major blunder committed by Napoleon, the third major blunder committed by Napoleon was Russian expedition. In 1812. In 1812. Clear? If you write in this order also, you don't need to write the date. Sequence is important. Clear? 12. Right. The French forces entered Russian territory, Russian territory without facing any resistance, no resistance by Russians, any resistance. Okay, right? The Russian forces deliberately retreated. Retreated to wait for the arrival of winter season. Okay, right? The harsh climatic conditions, the harsh climatic conditions conditions created several problems for the French, several problems for the French, including supply of, including supply of food and water, supply of food and water. Okay, right. The French forces began to retreat. The French forces began to retreat, but most of them suffered. But most of them suffered casualty. Most of them died. Most of them suffered casualty. Okay, right. Even though Napoleon managed to return back, even though Napoleon managed to return back, his popularity got affected. His popularity got affected even in France. Even in France. Clear? France. Change paragraph. Clear? Right. At this critical time, major European powers, at this critical time, major European powers led by Britain and Austria. Led by Britain and Austria. They strike at the very right time. Clear? Led by Britain and Austria, attacked Napoleon. Attacked Napoleon. Leading to the battle of Leipzig. Leading to the battle of Leipzig in Germany. Leading to the battle of Leipzig in Germany in 1813. 1813. 1813. Okay? Right. It is also known as, right in capital, known as the Battle of Nations. It is also known as the Battle of Nations. Almost all nations of Europe got to join together. Also known as Battle of Nations, and taken as the biggest battle. Taken as the biggest battle before the First World War. Battle before the First World War. Before the First World War. Battle. Okay? Right. In this military clash, Napoleon was defeated. In this military clash, Napoleon was defeated and deported to the island of Elba. Deported to the island of Elba near Italy, in Europe itself. Island of Elba near Italy. Clear? Right. After staying for 100 days, it's known as 100 days of Elba. After staying for 100 days, Napoleon returned back to Paris. Napoleon returned back to Paris to regain back his power. To regain back his power. Right. Once again, major European countries, led by Britain and Austria. Austria declared war. declared war, leading to the battle of Waterloo in Belgium, leading to the Battle of Waterloo in Belgium in 1815. 1815. Okay, right. Napoleon was finally defeated. And exiled to island of St. Helena. Exiled to the island of St. Helena in South Atlantic. Island of St. Helena in South Atlantic, where he survived for another 6 years. He died finally in 1821. Clear? Era came to an end in 1815. Clear? So Napoleonic era. Clear? Importance about St. Helena. Just understand. Atlantic Ocean. Clear? We had discussed America being on the Atlantic coast in North Atlantic. Then we have South Atlantic, that is coast of South America. Clear? This ocean is known as Atlantic Ocean, North and the South Atlantic. Clear? Very important thing is St. Helena in South Atlantic even now is the second oldest overseas colony of Britain. Clear? So still it is the second overseas colony of Britain. Clear? Where Napoleon was deported. Clear? So it is a colony of Britain, not France. Clear? In fact, French Emperor was deported here, which was under British control. Clear? So that he may not escape from here. St. Helena is an island located in South Atlantic. It is the second oldest overseas colony of Britain till contemporary times, because the tribal people of St. Helena, they wanted to remain under sovereignty of Britain. Clear? This is the second oldest colony. Clear? The oldest overseas colony of Britain even now is a group of islands located in North Atlantic Ocean, and this group of islands is known as Bermuda Islands. Clear? We have a very dubious area known as Bermuda Triangle. Clear? Where large ships get sunk just because of the sea forces. Clear? So Bermuda Islands and Bermuda Triangle is the oldest overseas colonies of Britain in the world. The second oldest colony is St. Helena in South Atlantic. Bermuda Triangle located in North Atlantic. St. Helena located in South Atlantic. Just for your information. Clear? So Napoleon was there for another 6 years. He died as a lonely person in 1821. His epoch came to an end in 1815 only, when he was deported to St. Helena after Battle of Waterloo in Belgium. Clear? So end of Napoleonic era almost for 1 decade. 1804 till 1815. Please. Yeah, largely depend. No. That is why with their own consent they asked him to take the charge of France, and that is why he was able to abolish even system like the consulate and declared himself to be Emperor of France. And just because people trusted him blindly, clear, Napoleon took all advantage of the people and he began to show his aggressive side. Clear? They got disillusioned by Napoleon after the Russian expedition. Clear? Because French forces died because of wrong strategy. Clear? And that is why Napoleon began to lose his popularity. And just taking advantage of this development, Britain and Austria together, along with other European powers, struck on Napoleon once in 1813 and then finally in 1815, leading to final defeat of Napoleon. Clear? Now after this, clear? Huh? No, not compared to Hitler. They are totally different persons. Huh? Was Napoleon as tyrannic as him? Napoleon has? As tyrannic. Huh? As Hitler? No, not at all. Clear. See, I'm not comparing the two persons. I'm talking about one major strategy adopted by Napoleon and Hitler both. That is related to Russian expedition. But obviously, Hitler was highly tyrannical and highly oppressive in nature. Napoleon was not at all oppressive. Clear? Hitler was a fascist leader. He believed in making Germany the more powerful country in the world. That was the only concern of Hitler. So Hitler was more powerful, more oppressive, a radical, ultra-fascist leader, and Napoleon never stood in front of Hitler, if you compare the two one. But there's one common strategy. He also attacked Russia. Another one's also attacked Russia. The mistake committed by Napoleon, similar mistake was committed by Hitler also. Clear? And there's another difference also. Clear? After Hitler returned back from Soviet Union and large number of German forces had died. Clear? Then this time Allied powers led by Britain and United States struck upon fascist power. Clear? They did not attack Hitler. They attacked the weakest power among the Axis link. Clear? And the biggest power was Italy. Clear? Because Axis power included three fascist countries: Germany, Italy and Japan. Clear? So at the same time, the Allied powers first of all attacked Mussolini, the leader of Italy. Even Japan was very aggressive at this point of time. Clear? Mussolini was defeated also. Clear? Mussolini was dethroned also. Clear? It was a big setback for Hitler. But as soon as Allied powers retreated from Italy, Hitler went back to Italy and replaced again Mussolini as ruler of Italy. Clear? And as soon as Hitler returned back, now people of Italy were disillusioned. People only came forward, they arrested Mussolini and they hanged Mussolini. Clear? So people of Italy only hanged Mussolini after some time. Clear? Hitler thereafter realized that defeat is inevitable. Clear? And realizing that defeat is inevitable, he began to realize that certain more sections needs to be attacked. He went on attacking, he knew his fate. Clear? And ultimately, he realized the only honorable thing that he can do is to end his life. Clear? And on 30th of April 1945, he committed suicide. He knew his fate very well. Clear? Hitler committed suicide on 30th of April 1945. Just before one day, he got married also. Double suicide. Clear? Okay. Hitler got married. Clear? That is one thing. Clear? Highly courageous person. Clear? Who could afford double suicide also. Clear? So at that point of time, Hitler committed suicide on 30th of April 1945. Very unique personality altogether. Clear? We'll come to Hitler. That's one thing. Clear? This huge amount of difference between between Napoleon and Hitler. There's one common thing. Attack on Soviet Union. Clear? And Soviet Union had a very large territory. Clear? By that time, it was not Russia. Soviet Union means 15 Central Asian republics also. Clear? So all these Asian republics known together as Soviet Union or USSR. Please.
When did Britain and America become friends?
When did Britain and America became friends? They became very close friends. Clear? Britain and America, you mean to say. Clear? Britain and America became friends from First World War. Clear? Why they became friends from First World War? Even Britain was not knowing about America. They left America much earlier. Clear? They didn't know that America is developing so rapidly. In the First World War, clear? Britain, while fighting against the most aggressive power, Germany. Clear? Because we had discussed earlier, when Germany went for industrialization, Germany at the same time went for militarization. And Germany developed a large naval power. Because German leader Bismarck knew ultimate battle has to be fought with Britain. Clear? To dominate the world. Clear? So obviously Germany from the beginning, very beginning was developing naval power. And Germany was known for developing submarines. Submarines were known as U-boats. Clear? And when First World War started, naval war started between Britain and Germany. Clear? That is along the North Sea region. That is region of sea belt. Clear? Britain began to first face reverses. Clear? And at this time, Britain asked for military assistance from United States. Clear? And US saw this war as an opportunity to create a defense market. Clear? United States began to sell arms and weapons to Britain. Clear? And arms and weapons, when it began to be sold by United States to Britain, it was a big support. And that is why, clear? Germany realized that if supply chain is not stopped from United States, it cannot defeat Britain. So what Germany did was, German submarines began to sink US vessels in mid-ocean. Clear? And therefore US got infuriated. Now US decided to participate. Clear? And that resulted into most intense battle in First World War, known as Battle of Jutland. It was naval war between Germany and United States. If US could not have intervened, Germany could have defeated Britain. Clear? Germany was very powerful at this time. US changed the whole equation of war. Clear? So United States began to attack Germany and then changed the whole equation. Clear? And thereafter Germany got defeated in First World War. From there only, healthy ties got established between United States and Britain. Just because of defense deal. Clear? United States always supported war. United supports war even now. Just because to create defense market. Clear? Because the United States want to sell their arms and weapons. Clear? So United States knows how to do business. Clear? That is all adversity, you create your own opportunity. Clear? And for United States, there's no country which is a permanent enemy. There's no country which is a permanent friend. For US, there's only one thing permanent, its interest. Clear? For US, there's only one thing permanent, its own interest. Clear? No permanent enemy, no permanent friend. Clear? And that is the reason why United States there as a superpower. Clear? It has always worked for its own national interest. Clear? So as all war mechanism, it's an opportunity for US. Clear? Recently, although Russia, Ukraine, United supplying all bombs and weapons to Ukraine. Clear? NATO also. And applying Israel also. All F-16 fighter aircrafts, F-16 fighter aircrafts from United States. War is an opportunity for US because whenever war takes place, the country looks to US for defense supply, and US charges its own prices for that. Clear and clear. And when all the weapons, all the market is created, then US comes to show that war should be stopped. Enough has been done. Clear? Okay, because now it has realized, clear, that there's no purchasing power left with another country. So US sees on the treasury of another country. Clear? To large extent, no doubt. Clear. We cannot deny this. Because Osama bin Laden was a creator of United States only. Clear. Okay, in fact, Osama bin Laden or the Al-Qaeda group in Afghanistan. Clear. It was basically created by United States to create troubles in Soviet Union because it was era of Cold War. One bloc was headed by United States, another bloc was headed by Soviet Union. And United States wanted to break the Soviet bloc. Clear. And therefore wanted to create problems in Soviet Union. The peripheral country to Soviet Union was Afghanistan. Clear? So US began to sponsor fundamentalists in Afghanistan, the Al-Qaeda group. Osama bin Laden was creator. Clear? And these groups created huge problem for Soviet Union, leading to decline and disintegration in 1991. Clear? And thereafter, when US and the Soviet Union got declined and disintegrated, now United States took their hands off from Al-Qaeda. Clear? So Osama bin Laden realized he has been used by United States. Clear? He has been made scapegoat by United States. He wanted to take revenge. And exactly after 1 decade, in 2001, Al-Qaeda planned its attack on United States. Clear? And that was in September 2001 when this plan was attacked at defense headquarters like Pentagon House and World Trade Center. Clear? And this was 9/11. Clear? The date was also chosen very carefully by Osama bin Laden because 9/11 is the helpline number of United States. Just to make it clear, no more helpline for Americans. Clear? He attacked the World Trade Center because flourishing business in World Trade Center is insurance. Life insurance is a flourishing business. Clear? Attacking World Trade Center, Osama bin Laden gave a message. No insurance of life for Americans. They are at vulnerable level. Clear? All these were strong messages given by Al-Qaeda at the time. Clear? But all these changed the whole global politics also. Clear? There's one thing to understand. Please.
That United States sent its military forces to Afghanistan to get benefit from their natural resources.
Natural resources.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they're, as per.
Tell me please.
And then why they renounced the sources?
Why they renounced?
Without the forces from Afghanistan. And,
Why they took away the forces from Afghanistan? Okay. You want to know this? You mean to say NATO forces?
Yeah.
Coming to that, I'll let you know.
And like
Yeah. See, this question needs to be understood, clear? And I hope you could have got this answer earlier also, but do understand, it's very important, clear? United States went to Afghanistan, clear? Especially after the war that started against terrorism, 2004, clear? And United States classified this whole region as epicenter of terrorism. Clear? This region was known as FPAC region, that is Afghanistan-Pakistan region. Clear? It was declared to be hotbed of terrorism by United States. Clear? And the country which supported United States in its fight against terrorism was none other than India. Clear? In fact, the greatest beneficiary of attack on United States is none other than India. Because we had been claiming since 1947 that greatest threat to global peace and security is from terrorism. No country accepted our argument. United States said that there's nothing called terrorism. Terrorism is a phenomenon of South Asia. Clear? But when US itself became victim, United States realized the greatest threat to global peace is from terrorism. Now, United States and India walked an extra mile to come together to fight against terrorism. Clear? A Pak region. Clear? So NATO forces were deputed in Afghanistan largely to deal with the forces known as Al-Qaeda forces. Clear? And Al-Qaeda forces were brutally suppressed by United States, no doubt about it. Clear? But at the same time, even though the terrorist group like Al-Qaeda got suppressed, one insurgent group rise in Afghanistan. Clear? And this insurgent group in Afghanistan is known as Taliban. Clear? There is a difference between terrorist group, there's a difference between insurgent group. Clear? Terrorism is a global phenomena whereby one community works against another community at globally. Clear? But insurgency is something related to political change. Insurgent group only wants change in the political guard of that country to establish their own rule. Clear? Taliban is an insurgent group. Al-Qaeda is a terrorist group. Taliban began to rise thereafter. Clear? And Taliban wanted to take charge of Afghanistan. Clear? To suppress Taliban thereafter. Clear? The NATO forces led by United States deputed its forces in Afghanistan. Clear? No, resources you are talking about. Yeah. Afghanistan is known for one resource. Clear? Afghanistan is the largest producer of opium in the entire world. Afim. Clear? Poppy cultivation is done. Clear? Afghanistan is known for the largest production of opium, and opium has led to large scale dubious trade all across the world. Clear? Of late the trade is being legalized because of medicinal use, but largely it was what? Illegal consumption. Clear? So opium or poppy cultivation was done. Clear? Now this, just because of this opium, Afghanistan wanted to take charge. Clear? But Taliban forces never allowed to take the charge of opium. Clear? Because it's a very important reality to be known. Most of the people in Afghanistan, they themselves are addicted to opium. Clear? And at the same time, since they are addicted to opium, most of the time they are not in their senses. Clear? They are in subconscious mind. Clear? And they fight with all enthusiasm. Clear? They are never afraid of death, and they fight with all major power. Clear? In fact, if you look into the war going on, why Afghanistan, United States had to withdraw? The US forces, the NATO forces with all necessary equipment, they fired missiles from their sophisticated trucks and all vehicles. Clear? Afghans used to carry the whole missiles on their shoulder, that too barefoot. Clear? And they used to fight with the hand only. Clear? That was the courage shown by the Taliban forces. Clear? They resisted the NATO forces almost for 2 decades. Clear? And they never allowed NATO forces to take command. Clear? That was the spirit of Afghan people. Clear? And just because of this, clear, Afghanistan or United States realized it is better to withdraw from Afghanistan and to recognize Taliban forces. Clear? And they recognize Taliban forces, and in recent time Taliban has formed their government in Afghanistan. Clear? It is largely because of this resource, that is opium, and largely because of the spirit of Afghanis. Clear? Afghanistan is the only country which has never been colonized by any country in the world. Clear? They have a sturdy sense of independence. Clear? British also tried thrice. They failed miserably in Afghanistan. Clear? Because the people of Afghanistan has their own sense of independence. They cannot compromise with independence anymore. Clear? And that is why they resisted British also. They resisted even American forces in recent times. Clear? And Taliban has been recognized from its own government also. Clear? It is the spirit of Afghan people which can never be rather subjugated. Clear? Osama bin Laden also said the same thing. Clear? That I have been made scapegoat, I will take this action against United States. Clear? And everything was well planned. Defense headquarters was attacked, World Trade Center was attacked, 9/11 was the date, that is the helpline of Americans. Clear? All these things were well planned by the Al-Qaeda forces. Al-Qaeda went out of power. Clear? But at the same time, Taliban took its seat. Clear? And Taliban is an insurgent group. Clear? And Taliban could not be suppressed by United States because of their sturdy sense of independence. Clear? And most of the time they are not in their own minds. Clear? Look into the spirit in cricket field also, how they fight. There's a new team, but how they rather practice or they play. Clear? And for them the arch rival is Pakistan. They don't like Pakistanis. Clear? And they break the heads of Pakistanis very easily. Clear? The Afghans, they are the real Pathans basically. Clear? The people of Afghanistan are not happy with Taliban government, largely because Taliban tries to implement a strict Sharia law, that strict fundamental law. So obviously that basically prohibits freedom and liberty. Clear? But at the same time people are not happy. But who are there to take the challenge of Taliban? Even the NATO forces operated for 2 decades have returned back. Clear? And Taliban has been ruling very strongly over Afghanistan. Clear? Taliban. So even though obviously because of strict regime, the rights and liberties of people are suppressed, no doubt. But Taliban is ruling with a strong hand in Afghanistan. Weak government cannot survive in Afghanistan. Clear? That's the reason that Afghanistan could not be suppressed by US also. And resources also. Clear? Resources only one. That is opium. Clear? Of late, oil and gas reserves are found in Afghanistan. Of late, we are promoting some major pipeline like Tapi pipeline, Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, India pipeline, because Afghanistan has got some reserves of oil and gas.
India runs various projects over there.
Large number of projects we are promoting. We have constructed the parliament building at Kabul. We are promoting Salma Dam project in Afghanistan. We have Jaran Dilaram road network in Afghanistan. India is operating several projects in Afghanistan. Why Afghanistan? Because we want to develop Afghanistan so that Afghanistan can counter. Clear. India is using one strategic angle. Clear. Because with Afghanistan, Pakistan can easily be tamed. Clear. Afghanistans know how to tame Pakistan. That's the reality. Clear. So big problem for Pakistan is Afghanistan. And India has to maintain healthy ties with Afghanistan. So India has also recognized Taliban. India has recognized Taliban. These are all complex situations that goes on in its Asian politics. Clear. So that is the reason. Afghanistan is a very unique country. Coming back. Clear. Napoleonic era. We had written about Russian expedition. Please.
During the Leipzig battle and Waterloo battle, Napoleon had lost face from the French people.
Support from French people.
So what was the French stand?
France did not show any support to Napoleon. When battle took place also at Leipzig and Waterloo, clear, Napoleon fought only with few soldiers, clear. French people never came to the support of Napoleon by this time. That provided the courage to Britain and Austria to strike upon Napoleon. Napoleon could easily be defeated at Leipzig. Napoleon could further be defeated at Waterloo. That clearly indicates common people of France did not support Napoleon by this time. He lost his popularity among masses. Clear. No, Napoleonic era, clear? So Napoleon finally got defeated at Waterloo. Meanwhile, just understand what was the major fallout, what was the major consequence, clear? As soon as Napoleon got defeated in the year 1815, clear? Britain rather shifted its attention from Europe and began to divert its attention towards Asia and Africa. Britain largely secured resources from colonies of Asia and Africa. In fact, clear, Britain began to assert very strongly in Asia and Africa, including India. And in modern history, we'll discuss, Britain decided to convert themselves as paramount power in India after the defeat of Napoleon. Clear? So the map which was wrapped up, clear, with Napoleonic era, it was opened once again and Britain wanted to focus more on Asia and Africa. But meanwhile, clear, Austria that played an important role in defeating Napoleon, Austria decided to dominate European mainland. Clear? So two exclusive areas were divided between Britain and Austria. Britain began to focus on Asia and Africa, and Austria was given the charge to dominate European mainland. Clear? In order to continue with this domination, Austria and Britain together convened an international conference. This conference was convened in Austrian capital of Vienna in 1815, which is known in world history as Vienna Conference of 1815. Clear? And this Vienna Conference was largely dominated by a Vienna or Austrian minister. This minister was Metternich. Clear? He dominated European scene thereafter from 1815 till his death in the year 1848. Clear? And from 1848, Europe was dominated by third personality, and this personality was Otto von Bismarck. Clear? So 19th century Europe is marked by three great personalities. Initially it was Napoleon Bonaparte, then it was Metternich, and lastly it was Bismarck in Germany. Clear? And that too in succession. Clear? So Napoleon was followed by a great leader from Austria known as Metternich. Clear? And his sole objective was to re-establish Austrian domination over European continent, which had been disturbed by Napoleon. In other words, Vienna settlement wanted to return back to pre-Napoleonic era. Clear? That is era that existed before Napoleon's rule. Clear? So they wanted to return back to pre-Napoleonic era. They wanted to reverse the changes of Napoleon, and with such objective they convened a reactionary conference known as Vienna Conference of 1815. Clear? What were the major deliberations of Vienna Conference? We'll look into Vienna Conference separately. Clear? This is the biggest consequence of the downfall of Napoleon. Clear? Right. Next heading as clear. Right. The Vienna Conference. The Vienna Conference. The Vienna Conference. The date is 1815. The Vienna Conference. Clear? Right, introduction. Clear? Right. After the downfall of Napoleon, Britain and Austria began to reassert in exclusive areas. Clear? Like Britain began to focus on Asia and Africa, whereas Austria began to reassert in European mainland. Clear? Right. The major powers of Europe convened an international conference at Vienna to reverse the changes of Napoleon. They wanted to return back to pre-Napoleonic era to reverse the changes of Napoleon. Okay, change paragraph. Like the Vienna Conference was dominated by Austrian minister Metternich, whose sole objective was to ensure pre-Napoleonic arrangement. They wanted to move back. Pre-Napoleonic arrangement. Clear? Right. First of all, Austria decided to reestablish complete domination over Italy and Germany. It was disturbed by Napoleon. Italy and Germany. Clear? Change paragraph now. Clear? Right. Napoleon attacked the regions of Napoleon attacked the regions of Italy and Germany, attacked the regions of Italy and Germany, regions of Italy and Germany, whereby the control of, whereby the control of, whereby the control of Austria, the control of Austria, the control of Austria was affected, control of Austria was affected, Austria was affected. Clear? Right? In this way, in this way, in this way, in this way, Napoleon was able to arouse, Napoleon was able to arouse, Napoleon was able to arouse sense of political unification, arouse sense of political unification, sense of political unification, sense of political unification among the people of, among the people of Italy and Germany, among the people of Italy and Germany. Right, next paragraph, clear? Right. This sense of nationalism, this sense of nationalism, this sense of nationalism was aroused incidentally, was aroused incidentally, was aroused incidentally, which created, incidentally, which created a long-term impact, which created a long-term impact on Europe. Long-term impact on Europe. Change paragraph. Right. During Vienna Conference, during Vienna Conference, Metternich, during Vienna Conference, Metternich provided for Austrian domination, provided for Austrian domination over Italy and Germany. It's a very important topic. Italy and Germany. Germany, clear? Right. Germany. Right. Here only Germany was divided into, Germany was divided into, Germany was divided into more than 300 smaller states, divided into more than 300 smaller states, 300 smaller states, 300 smaller states, 300 smaller states, which was converted into, which was converted into, which was converted into 39 larger states, which was converted into 39 larger states, 39 larger states by Napoleon, 39 largest states by Napoleon. Clear? Right. Under Vienna settlement, it was made clear. Under Vienna settlement, it was made clear that all 39 states, it was made clear that all 39 states, shall elect their representatives, to a German parliament, at Frankfurt. German parliament at Frankfurt. F-R-A-N-K. German parliament at Frankfurt. Okay? Right. However, this parliament could be summoned. S-U-M-M-O-N-E-D. This parliament could be summoned and presided only by Austrian monarch. So complete domination of Austrian monarch. Now just understand from here, clear? So Germany was originally divided into 300 smaller states. It was converted into 39 larger states by Napoleon, and he incidentally provided sense of nationalism. These 39 states to be brought under Austrian domination once again. It was decided that all these 39 states will have their representatives to German parliament at Frankfurt, but this parliament can be summoned and presided only by Austrian monarch. So complete clutch over German states by Austria. Clear? More elaborate arrangement was done with respect to Italy. We need to understand Vienna settlement related to Italy. Clear? This is the country of Italy as of now. Just understand. Clear? Italy is divided into this northern, central and southern part of Italy, and these two blue regions are known as Kingdom of Sardinia and Piedmont. Just understand. Clear? Under Vienna settlement, it was made clear that these two regions of Lombardy and Venetia on top, clear? These two regions would be directly given to Austrian monarch, clear? And this monarch of Austria belonged to Habsburg family. So this blue region, light blue region, this was to be directly handed over to Austrian monarch. The two provinces known as Lombardy and Venetia. Venetia right now is known as Venice in Italy. Clear? At the same time, there were central provinces known as the provinces of Tuscany, Parma, Modena. All these smaller provinces were handed over to the prince of the royal Habsburg family in Austria. Clear? So all the royal members could take the charge of smaller provinces in central Italy. Clear? One province was left untouched in Italy, that was Rome. Why Rome was left untouched? Rome was the seat of the papal authority, that is Pope at Rome, the highest Christian authority. Clear? And the Pope at Rome was aligned with France because Pope at Rome had signed an agreement with Napoleon known as Concordat in 1802. And as per Concordat, Napoleon accepted Roman Catholicism to be a state religion of France, and Pope accepted Napoleon to be legitimate ruler of France. Clear? So Rome was left untouched because of a spiritual connection, and Rome was the head of the Pope at this time, and he was largely inclined to France even after Napoleon. Clear? Coming to southern Italy, there were two regions known as Sicily and Naples. Clear? And these two provinces were placed under military forces of Austria. Clear? So Italy altogether was again converted into a mere geographical entity. I'll repeat. Clear? Two northern provinces of Lombardy and Venetia were directly placed under the command of Austrian monarch. Clear? Central provinces known as the Papal States, they were given as training ground to the royal members of Habsburg family in Austria. Two southern provinces of Sicily and Naples were placed under military forces of Austria, meaning thereby no Italy as a nation. Clear? It was to be completely dominated by Austria at this time. Only one central province left untouched, and that was the province of Rome under the spiritual head of Christianity, that is the Pope. Clear? This reactionary arrangement was done in the Vienna Conference of 1815. Clear? As soon as the Vienna Conference came to an end, from here only sense of patriotism and nationalism began to take place in Italy also, as well as in Germany, because there's a trend. Nationalism once aroused cannot be completely suppressed, and this nationalism was aroused in Italy and Germany by one common leader, Napoleon. And as a reaction to Vienna settlement, this nationalism was started by local leaders in Italy and Germany, and this resistance by local leaders went a long way, and this long process of political development in Europe is known as unification of Italy and Germany. Clear? First of all, we'll discuss unification of Italy, then we'll discuss unification of Germany as a reaction to Vienna settlement of 1815. Clear? Write about settlement with respect to German Italy. Clear? Right. In the Vienna settlement, clear, Austria again tried to convert Austria again tried to convert Italy. Austria again tried to convert Italy as a mere geographical entity. As a mere geographical entity. Right, very clearly, clear? Right, the two northernmost provinces of Italy, the two northernmost provinces of Italy, Lombardy and Venetia. This region, clear? The two northernmost provinces of Italy, Lombardy and Venetia. This is the region, Kingdom of Lombardy, Venetia. Two northern provinces of Italy, Lombardy and Venetia, were brought under the direct control of Austrian monarch. Direct control of Austrian monarch. Clear? Right. Beside smaller provinces in central Italy, beside smaller provinces in central Italy, like Parma, Modena, Romagna and Tuscany. Central province presently like Parma, Modena. This is the region, clear? Tuscany is the yellow one, clear? Parma, Modena, Romagna and Tuscany were handed over to the members of the Habsburg family, the royal family, handed over to the members of the Habsburg family of Austria. Habsburg family of Austria. Second thing, right, moreover, the two southernmost provinces, like the Sicily and Naples, the yellow one. The two southern provinces like Sicily and Naples were placed under the military forces of Austria. So complete control, sources of Austria. Right, the fourth one also. Right, it must be noted that the central province, it must be noted that the central province of Rome, central province of Rome, R-O-M-E, central province of Rome was left untouched. Province of Rome was left untouched due to the Pope, the highest spiritual authority of Christianity, due to Pope, P-O-P, Pope, who was largely protected by the French. Protected by the French. Right here only, clear? Right. In 1802, the Pope at Rome and Napoleon concluded the Treaty of Concordat. Any treaty signed with Pope was known as Concordat. Clear? Known as the Treaty of Concordat. C-O-N-C-O-R-D-A-T. Concordat. Whereby Napoleon accepted Roman Catholicism. Napoleon accepted Roman Catholicism as state religion. Christianity is two sections, Catholicism and Protestantism. Clear? Roman Catholicism as state religion. And Pope accepted Napoleon as legitimate ruler of France. Effective use of religion done by Napoleon. Pope accepted Napoleon as legitimate ruler of France. It was bilateral. Clear? So Napoleon accepted Catholicism as state religion. Pope accepted Napoleon to be the legitimate ruler of France. That also enabled him to take power with the consent of people, because even Pope accepted him as ruler of France. Clear? So this development took place in 1802. So in Vienna settlement, Rome, being sensitive, was left untouched by Austrian leader Metternich. Clear? But Italy was converted into mere geographical entity. Northern provinces directly under Habsburg monarch, central provinces under the members of Habsburg family, and southern provinces under military forces of Italy or Austria. Clear? All these was done in Vienna conference. Clear? Now with this, clear, such settlement could not be tolerated by any country. Sense of nationalism had already been aroused in both Italy and Germany. People began to retaliate against Vienna settlement, and that proved to be a prolonged political agitation in 19th century, and that resulted into nation building in Italy and Germany, known popularly as unification of Italy and Germany. Clear? First of all, we'll discuss unification of Italy, which is a quite complex process, and then we'll discuss unification of Germany. Clear? So with this, move on to the next major development, that is unification process in Italy. Clear? Now how the process started, just understand. Clear? This process started as soon as Metternich died in the year 1848. Clear? People and leaders of Italy came forward and they realized time has come to unify this country. Clear? The pioneering role in this direction was played by Italian revolutionary thinker Mazzini. Clear? Mazzini, when he was there in Italy, he established an organization known as Young Italy, comprising of the youths of Italy. Clear? And with help of Young Italy or youths of Italy, he organized an uprising against Austria in 1848. It is also known as All Italian Uprising of 1848. But still Austria was very powerful. Austria brutally suppressed the revolt of Mazzini. Clear? So Mazzini, even though being the pioneer, Mazzini could not unify any part of Italy. Clear? But first step was taken by Mazzini, no doubt. Clear? As soon as all Italian uprising was brutally suppressed under Mazzini, clear, such developments in Italy were being closely monitored by an adjoining country known as Sardinia and Piedmont. Clear? These were two blue regions adjoining to Italy, and they were watching the developments in Italy. Clear? At this time, there was Emperor of Sardinia known as Victor Emmanuel. Clear? Now, he decided to unify Italy, but he wanted to unify Italy under his own control. That is, he wanted Sardinization of Italy. He wanted Sardinia to unify Italy under its own domination. Clear? So, Emperor of Sardinia, Victor Emmanuel, decided to unify Italy. Clear? And in order to unify Italy, Victor Emmanuel appointed a leading diplomat as his prime minister in 1852. This person was Count Cavour, who played the most important role in unification of Italy. And Count Cavour was very different from Mazzini. Clear? Count Cavour realized Italian unification is only possible by making this issue an international issue to take the support of other powers against Austria. Clear? Italy alone cannot unify. It must take the support of major powers to unify against Austrian domination. In other words, Count Cavour wanted to make Italian unification an international issue. Clear? And he got this opportunity immediately because in 1853, a major war broke out in Europe, and this war is known as the Crimean War from 1853 to 56. Clear? Crimean crisis that has led to war between Russia and Ukraine. It's not a new crisis. Clear? The crisis can be rather traced back to Italian unification. Clear? So the war that is going for more than almost 2 years between Russia and Ukraine, almost more than a year. Clear? It is not a new crisis. Crimean crisis took place during Italian unification also. Clear? We'll understand what is this crisis known as Crimean crisis leading to war between Russia and Ukraine in present times as well. Clear? This was a start in the process of Italian unification. Clear? Right here only separate heading as. Clear? Right, the unification of Italy. The unification of Italy. Unification of Italy. Clear? Right, the most progressive political development, the most progressive political development in Europe, political development in Europe was unification of nation states, unification of nation states like Italy and Germany. Like Italy and Germany. Clear? Like the people and leaders of Italy. The people and leaders of Italy. Italy were offended by the Vienna settlement, offended by the Vienna settlement, and decided to unify their country, Clear? Right, the pioneering role in this direction, was played by a revolutionary thinker, Mazzini. Mazzini, who established an organization known as Young Italy. Comprising of youth. Young Italy. See, for your information, inspired by Mazzini only, one national leader of India also established a youth organization during national movement, and that leader was Sardar Bhagat Singh. Clear? And the organization established by him is known as Punjab Naujawan Bharat Sabha. Clear? Punjab Naujawan Bharat Sabha was established by Sardar Bhagat Singh in 1926. Clear? It is a youth organization who was highly influenced by Mazani. Clear? Derozio was influenced by French Revolution in Bengal. Clear? He died much earlier. Clear? Just after a few months. Clear? This organization, Mazani, had a direct impact on Sardar Bhagat Singh. Young Italy is replicated or compared with Punjab Naujawan Bharat Sabha, established in Punjab by Sardar Bhagat Singh in 1926. Clear? Young Italy. Clear? Right. With help of the members of Young Italy, with help of the members of Young Italy, Mazzini organized an uprising against Mazzini organized an uprising revolt with help of the members of Young Italy. This organization, Mazzini organized an uprising against Austria in 1848. Clear? Right. However, this uprising was brutally suppressed. This uprising was brutally suppressed by Austria. Clear? Austria. Change paragraph. Right. The entire developments in Italy were monitored. The entire developments in Italy were monitored by adjoining region of Sardinia Piedmont. This is the region. Adjoining regions of Sardinia Piedmont. Two regions, one Sardinia, one Piedmont. Clear? Adjoining regions of Sardinia Piedmont and its emperor Victor Emmanuel Emperor of Sardinia Piedmont. Clear? Right. He decided to unify Italy. Under Sardinian control. He wanted to unify Italy under Sardinian control, also known as Sardinization of Italy, Sardinian control. Right. In order to achieve this objective, Victor Emmanuel appointed a leading diplomat, Count Cavour, as his prime minister. In 1852. Prime Minister in 1852. Change paragraph. Clear? Right. Count Cavour decided to project Italian issue as an international issue to take the support of major powers. major powers, especially France, to take the support of major powers, especially France, trying to play balancing role. France trying to play balancing role in Europe. After Napoleon, France was acting as balancing factor, trying to play balancing role in Europe. Balancing role in Europe. Okay. Right. Count Cavour got this opportunity. Count Cavour got this opportunity in 1853 during the Crimean War. During the Crimean War, 1853 to 56. During Crimean War between France and Russia. Crimean War presently between Russia and Ukraine. Clear? Crimean War between France and Russia. Right now between Russia and Ukraine. Why Russia and Ukraine will come? France and Russia. Crimean War. Now coming to this crisis. Clear? And in this understand the crisis going on presently between Russia and Ukraine. Clear? And first of all, why this war is known as the Crimean War. Clear? This is always a bone of contention between Russia and France at that time, right now between Russia and Ukraine. Clear? Understand geographically. Clear? Crimea is a peninsular region which is located to the north of a large water body in Europe known as Black Sea. Clear? So Crimea is a peninsular region having an outlet towards Black Sea, towards its southern side. Clear? And Crimea as of now is a formal part of a large country known as Ukraine. At that time, Ukraine was not there. Clear? So Crimea formally is a part of Ukraine. Clear? Formally I am speaking. Clear? So Crimea formally is a part of Ukraine. Clear? Ukraine is a large country with its capital at Kiev. Clear? Crimea is a peninsular region with only one city, recognized city, and that city is known as Sevastopol. Clear? Only one city in Crimea. Kiev is the capital of Ukraine. To the north of Ukraine, we have a large country, another large country, Russian Federation. Clear? So this is the arrangement. Large water body known as Black Sea. To the north of Black Sea, Crimea. To the north of Crimea is Ukraine. To the north of Ukraine is Russian Federation. Crimea formally coming under the jurisdiction of Ukraine. Clear? This is the scenario. Clear? Russia from the very beginning always wanted to get connected with Crimea. Clear? Not because of only strategic issue, also because of racial connectivity. Because 95% of the people in Crimea comprises of an ethnic community known as Slav community. And the same community is a dominant community in Russia. Clear? So obviously Russia always wanted to protect the interest of Slav community in Crimea, like we want to protect the interest of Tamilians in Sri Lanka. Clear? So Russia also wanted to protect the interest of Slav community in Crimea, and Crimea could be protected only via Ukraine. Clear? So Russia provided all support to Ukraine. Russia promoted energy supply to Ukraine, and through Ukraine, via Ukraine, Russia maintained healthy connectivity with Crimea also. Clear? Things were going very smoothly till 2014. Clear? In fact, most of the time in Ukraine, there was always a pro-Russian president. Clear? And this pro-Russian president always supported Russian movement to Crimea via Ukraine. Clear? But this arrangement that provided strong leverage to Russia was not acceptable to United States. Clear? So United States wanted to basically offset this arrangement of Russia. Clear? And United States from 2014 began to sponsor a regime change in Ukraine. The United States wanted pro-US president to be posted in Ukraine so that connectivity between Russia and Crimea can be broken. Clear? And static advantage of Russia, to Russia cannot be given. Clear? And ultimately in 2018, clear, United States succeeded in funding the regime change in Ukraine, whereby pro-Russian President Viktor Yanukovych was replaced by pro-US President Yushchenko. Clear? As soon as this change in guard took place in 2013, clear, Soviet President or Russian President Vladimir Putin began to claim this regime change has been sponsored by United States, and at this time he wanted United Nations to act swiftly at this time, and regime change must be reversed in this country of Ukraine. Clear? But at the same time, this regime change was not, rather reversed. Moreover, Ukraine was given an offer to join NATO at this time by United States, which is a military regime led by United States. Clear? This all offended the sentiments of Russians, offended the sentiment of Putin as well, and therefore in 2018 Putin asked Russian forces to enter Crimea via Ukraine in civil dress. Clear? Large number of Russians entered Ukraine via Ukraine. They reached Crimea, and after reaching Crimea they conducted a public referendum among people of Crimea. Since 95% of the people are Slav community, clear, most of them voted in favor of integration with Russian Federation. Clear? And on the basis of this public referendum, Putin declared Crimea hereby is annexed to Russia. Clear? And this annexation is not reversible. Clear? This was made clear by Putin. As soon as this was done, this was protested by Ukraine also, as Crimea was formerly a part of Ukraine. This was protested by US also, and this was protested by United Nations also. Clear? All of them came together and they began to impose sanctions upon Russia. Clear? And this resulted into severe crisis, but Putin remained to be adamant annexation of Crimea shall never be reversed. Clear? And ultimately, when Ukraine began to show more inclination towards US, clear, an inclination to join NATO, clear, Putin was left with no other choice than to declare war on Ukraine, and that's resulted into Russia-Ukraine war, which continues till contemporary times, and that has affected the entire politics of Europe at this time. Clear? This is the present crisis. Clear? But at that time we are talking about Ukraine was not in existence. Clear? Ukraine was not there. There was Russian Federation, then Crimea, then Black Sea. Clear? And Russia there also maintained healthy connectivity with Crimea and Black Sea region. But this was not acceptable to balancing actor in Europe. That balancing actor was France, because France realized it is giving more edge to Russia and balance of power may get disturbed by Russian expansion. Clear? So France wanted to stop any major control of Russia over Crimea. Clear? And that resulted into war between Russia and France, known as Crimean War of 1853 to 56. When this war took place, Count Cavour decided to take calculated risk. Clear? And at this time he took up handful of mud from the peninsular region of Crimea and said, with the mud of Crimea, New Italy would be born. Clear? And what was his strategy? Clear? After taking calculated risk, Cavour decided to support France in Crimean war against Russia. Clear? And fortunately for Count Cavour, France defeated Russia in Crimean war, in which even Sardinian forces participated on the demand of Count Cavour. Since with support of Cavour, France defeated Russia, as soon as the war came to an end, France convened an international conference at Paris. Clear? And at this international conference, France even invited Count Cavour, clear, who played an important role in Crimean war. Count Cavour was looking for this opportunity. It was an international conference, and in this conference he highlighted the plight of Italians, and he wanted all countries, including France, to support him to unify Italy against Austrian domination. Clear? At this time, French emperor was Napoleon III. Even after the downfall of Napoleon, the rulers took the title of Napoleon I, II, and III. And this person, Napoleon III, decided to give all support to Count Cavour. It was a big diplomatic victory for Cavour, and Cavour began to recruit large military force in this region of Sardinia. Clear? When large military force began to be recruited in Sardinia, at this time, it created a sense of insecurity for Austria, maintaining control over Lombardy and Venetia. Clear? Austria warned Cavour not to go for military equipment. Clear? But Count Cavour was mentally prepared. He went for further military equipment, and that resulted into clash between Sardinia and Austria. Clear? This war took place between Sardinia and Austria in 1858. Clear? And when this war took place, in this war, Cavour was well prepared. He began to give decisive blow to the forces of Austria. Clear? And this war gave decisive edge to Count Cavour, and ultimately at this war, France realized. Clear? France was not expecting this. Realized that Count Cavour may defeat Austria. Clear? If a small country like Sardinia defeats a large country like Austria, balance of power will get completely disrupted. Clear? Therefore, the French Emperor Napoleon III asked for immediate truce or ceasefire between Sardinia and Austria. Clear? And this ceasefire agreement is known as Truce of Villafranca in 1859, and as per this Truce of Villafranca, clear, since Cavour was getting an extra edge as a mark of his victory, clear, Cavour was surrendered the region of Lombardy, clear, and Venetia still was returned under Austrian control, clear. So kind of ceasefire or peace was established by Napoleon III, whereby only one province was given to Sardinia, and that province was Lombardy. Venetia was still retained under the control of Austrian domination. Clear? In this way, first step towards Italian unification was taken by Count Cavour, but even he could not unify Italy completely. Clear? This was major development in Italian unification. Northern part, the one major province taken, that is Lombardy. Is this clear? The conflict is clear between the known as Crimean War, the Crimean issue of conflict even between Russia and Ukraine. Clear? Right about this Crimean War. Clear? Right. The Crimean War. The Crimean War was started between France and Russia to establish control over Crimean Peninsula, Clear? Right. In this conflict, Count Cavour took calculated risk. And decided to support France. Clear? We'll continue from here. Clear? We'll continue from here tomorrow. Clear? We'll complete this. We'll discuss about other actors in Italian unification. One very important question that is asked from this topic is similarities and differences between Italian and German unification. This is a normal trend of UPSC examination. Clear? We'll come to similarities and differences. Clear? First of all, Italian unification. It's fine. Do you have test now? Test has been done? Okay, fine. We'll continue from here tomorrow. Thank you.